It's also the effulgence of Srimati Radharani, the one who, so Srimad Mahaprabhu takes the uh, bodily hue of Srimati Radharani, and and so in the kingdom of Rukumangada, from anyone who is between 8 years till 80 years would perform Ekadashi. So this was the duty of all the citizens, and that was driven by love and affection. Srila Gurudev would say, if you want to conquer someone, if you want to control someone, by your service, you can control, but not by administration, not by force. But sometimes administration is required. If this if if there's use of power, then that's good. Then people will be fearful of you. People would pay heed to your words, but that does not mean one should execute their power and misuse it. So sometimes one has to show their power. Srimad Mahaprabhu used chakra twice. So Srimad Mahaprabhu used his chakra twice. The time when Jagai Madhai, he wanted to deliver both of them. When Nityananda Prabhu went to deliver them, the second time when Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Haridas Thakur went, then Madhai hit Nityananda Prabhu with a pot. And at that particular time, Srimad Mahaprabhu, when he saw Nityananda Prabhu's head was bleeding, then at that particular time, Mahaprabhu called out his chakra. So he showed his power at that time. And at the other time, he showed his power when Sri Namacharya Haridas Thakur was beaten in 22 markets. At that particular time, Srimad Mahaprabhu called out his chakra. And Sri Haridas Thakur, he prayed. He said that, hey, Prabhu, please forgive them. And because of the constant prayers of Sri Haridas Thakur, Mahaprabhu did not kill them by using his chakra. So later on, Srimad Mahaprabhu asked him, hey, Sir Haridas, he said, I sent my chakra to protect you. But then you were praying for them, those who had beaten you in 22nd markets. He said, so how were you able to tolerate? How were you able to tolerate all the pain which these people were giving to you? Because you were chanting the holy names at that time. So he said that Srimad Mahaprabhu said, I'm the one, since you were chanting the names, Srimad Mahaprabhu showed his back that when they were hitting you in 22 markets, all the beating, all the marks of the beatings were seen on Mahaprabhu's body. So Mahaprabhu showed his body where those marks were evident. So twice he did that. So sometimes he has to show his power, but it's not required one to execute their powers all the time. So it's my pastime. And then Rukumangada, a day before Ekadashi, he would announce that tomorrow is Ekadashi. Everyone must perform Ekadashi. Anyone who doesn't perform Ekadashi, king would expel him from the kingdom. He would be expelled from the kingdom. So at that time, there were no ways of communication like radios, emails, and no text message, no WhatsApp. These different modes of communication which we're using nowadays, those things did not exist at that time. So he said, when there's a junction, even just like what they would do, they would beat the drum in the middle of the junction, and then they would call out. In order to grab everybody's attention, they would say, so they would announce that if you don't do, then the citizens would be kicked out. So they would inform them like this. So they would also do the patrolling. He said if on the day of Ekadashi, they would see that if there is some fumes coming out of someone's house, they would get to know. So he said, so, but so if they would see some fumes, they would get to know. So not out of fear, but then out of love, they would follow. We must perform, as Maharaj was saying, that we have to do paran on time. Otherwise, Ekadashi would not bear the actual fruit. It's mentioned in Shastras that if anyone's age is anyone is about 50 years old or more, then one must give up their homes and go to the forest and perform bhajan. If not possible to do in the forest, then both husband and wife must stay at their home. They should not address, they should not have they should not behave with each other as husband and wives like they used to have when they were under 50. So, the men and women both, the husband and wife, they should stay at home, but they should live like a vanaprasthi. Now, Rukumangada is about 50 years, and he says, Mohini, now I'm 50 years old. I am going to enter in Vanaprastha, enter in the forest, and perform bhajana. The wife was like, hmm, hmm, that's an issue which we had last night also. Hmm. So he said to his wife, and now I'm 50 years old, and since I've entered in 50 years, that we should not behave like, mm, there's a problem. Yeah, I think now it's so. Okay, now it's back. So, so, mm, see, on the banks of a of a pond, a very beautiful woman was there, and then the water of the pond was very fragrant, and the water was so clean that one was able to see the fishes. It was like crystal clear water, and then the a woman was playing with the fishes with the aquatics, and Rukumangad, he became very attracted to her. He said, "Who are you? You're so beautiful. You are much more beautiful than heavenly damsels. Why are you living alone?" It is mentioned in the scriptures that a woman should be protected when she's that a father must protect the woman when she's young. Then, when after marriage, she should be protected by the husband. That during the older age, the children or the daughters, the son and the daughter, they must protect them. He said, "This is not right for you to wander alone in the forest. For your protection, it's not right to wander like this alone in the forest." She said that, "No, I've taken the permission of my father, and I'm actually searching for a husband." He said, "I haven't been able to find any qualified person with whom I should get married to." So the king was like, "Oh, look at me, I'm the one." He was like, he, he said, "Just go and tell your father that I've been able to find a perfect match for myself." He said, "If you think that I'm qualified, then you must get married to me." She said, he said, "You seem to be amongst the fitter amongst all I've seen. There's you're definitely slightly better than others, but then my condition is, if you're going to get married to me, then you're not going to be an obstacle in any of my desires. That's the only." He said, "I'm not going to create any obstacles in your desires." He was like, "Oh, now he was being enchanted by her words." So the king, he sent a message to his kingdom that I'm going to bring a new I'm going to bring a new queen. And then at that time, the entire city was decorated just like at 9 o'clock this nine, the whole India would be decorated, just like the whole city would be decorated. Srila Maharaj has come. So when the king came to the city, he was being honored. He was being welcomed. Then Dharmangada Raja, the king, he said he went to the forest to perform Vanaprastha Dharma, but then he's actually gotten back with the women. He said, so you should not think that you are the topmost of queen because I already have, you know, because I was already married. So you should think, so we should try to please the this new queen. So she said, so as he was giving instructions that how should we behave with this new queen because he was enchanted. Now the time came uh, of Ekadashi. So you know what is the meaning of hitting someone? What is the meaning hitting someone with a? I mean, she gave bribe to the pandits at that time, who were the advisors of the king. He said, "Hey, Ekadashi is about to come, and when king would ask you, then you must say that what we would not be able to. Then you must say to him that we would not be able to follow Ekadashi." He said, "If the king is going to follow Ekadashi, then everyone would do, and if the king is not going to follow, no one would do." He says, so we should break his chain of following Ekadashi. So she bribed them, and then on the day of Ekadashi, just a day before Ekadashi, then the king is sending his servants to announce that tomorrow is Ekadashi. So they were announcing, the servants were announcing, is everyone must follow Ekadashi, and anyone who doesn't follow Ekadashi, king is going to expel that person from the kingdom. So this was happening. So the queen, she heard. He said, "Hey king, what's this happening? What is it that you're shouting about?" He said, "This is not nonsense. This has some sense." He said, "What's the sense?" He said, "Tomorrow is Ekadashi and we are informing everybody." He said, "Oh, this Ekadashi is useless." He said, "No." He said, "This is not fake. This is original. This is all. This is of no use." He said, "Between Purnima and Amavasya, and from Amavasya to Purnima, so so Ekadashi comes on the 11th day." She said, "No, I don't want to follow all these fasting." So she said, he said, "I'm not going to follow, and I would not even let you follow Ekadashi." Then the king said, "I'm the king. Don't you know that? I'll kick you out of the kingdom." He said, "Yes, yes, I know the king." He said, "I would like to remind you that you made a promise when I got married that you're not going to have any obstruction in my desires." He said, "No, I didn't say that I will not follow Ekadashi." He said, "No, I said that." He said, he said, "This was not the deal which we had. You know, I'm not asking you to follow Ekadashi, but then you should not stop me to follow." He said, "Okay, generally you consult your Brahmins, you must call all of them." So all of them, all the Pandits were called. Then king said, "See what this new queen is saying." He said, "Hey king, she's absolutely right because they were given the bribe already. They were bribed that you must follow, you should not follow Ekadashi either." He said, "If you follow Ekadashi, you won't drink water, and then since you'll be drinking water, so what if what if a neighborhood kingdom attacks us? He said, if you're not going to follow Ekadashi, what's going to happen? You, he's all these sannyasis would follow Ekadashi, but not kings like you. You must be strong enough. Then the king understood that there's something fishy. He was like, let Ekadashi pass by, and then I'll do it. First let me do the Ekadashi, and then I'll deal with you separately. So all the pundits, they were trembling there because the king is very strict and is also very well versed in scriptures. Then all the pundits, they went away. She said, I'm not going to do Ekadashi. I won't even let you do it. And I said that, and that's once and for all. King was like, just, take her out of the kingdom. He said, just shave her head and then make her sit on a donkey, facing backwards, and just expel her out of the kingdom. Then the elderly king, she said, hey Rajan, hey king, she's just like my sister. She's just like my daughter. Why are you acting with her like this? He said, she's just like my daughter. She's not going to follow the Ekadashi. King said, no. King was very angry. No, we must. He said, don't think I'm lusty. Don't, don't think that I'm attracted to you so much that I'll give up Ekadashi. No. For your protection, I brought you here. Don't think that I'm attracted to you by your bodily limbs. Do you think I'm just a puppet in your hands? Then Rohini, then she held onto the feet. Even Dharmangad, the son of Rukumangad, he also held onto the feet of Rukumangad. Please don't do it. Please don't make her go out of the kingdom. Then they were like, Mohini was like, then the elderly queen said that you let him follow. I mean, if you don't want to follow, that's fine. Then king said, okay. Then the queen said, okay, I'll let him follow, but then there's one condition. Whatever you'll ask, I'll give it to you after Ekadashi. She said that, okay, the condition is that you have to chop off the head of his son, and you have to cut it. You have to cut it. You chop off the head. And the other condition is that you won't even drop, not even a drop of tear would fell from your eyes. And if you do this, then I'll let you follow Ekadashi. Dharmangad was very, very happy. The son was very happy. He said, no problem. He said, father, she's like a demoness. Then, he said, just kick her out of the kingdom. So the king said, the elderly queen, he said, hey husband, why are you worried? He said, if my son's life is being sacrificed for the sake of Ekadashi, then, that would be the greatest of fortune. Then the king said, no, that can't happen. I won't kill my son. I won't chop off his head. And then she's asking that I should not even drop, a single drop of tear. How is it possible I can tolerate this? He said, mother, he said, then the queen said, being a mother, I can do it. Why can't you do it? So she said, no problem. If this son is dies, then I can bear, another son. Then the son sat down, and then the king and the wife, they were looking at the face of the son, and they were crying, and they were looking at Rohini, the elderly wife, like what to do. Then the new queen said that, when I'm going to whistle, What to do? You chop off the head. And then they were counting. And then she whistled, and immediately Shri Brahmaji, Vishnuji, and Shri Mahesh, all of them appeared. He said, we're very happy, very happy. He said, ask. He said, we're very happy, ask a boon. Then king said that, hey Lord, he said, no one would be able to pass the test. This was the most difficult test in regards to my Nishtha in Ekadashi. And Krishna himself, he did the Abhishek of Dharmangad, and then took Rukumangad and his wife back to Vaikuntha. And Shivji also went to his loka, and Brahmaji was there. And then Mohini, she was there. The Mohini said, I could not fulfill your desire. I, I tried very hard that I'll get married and I'll be able to enchant him and would not let him follow Ekadashi. But then you told me that he's a very difficult nut to crack. So now I've understood this. He said, what to do now? He said, how do I live? What would be my destination? Brahmaji said, there are people who do Ekadashi two times, Biddha Ekadashi and Shuddha Ekadashi. Those who follow Shuddha Ekadashi, pure Ekadashi, then they get pure bhakti. And Vaikuntha means from Vaikuntha Lokas till all the avatars have their own abodes in Vaikuntha planets, Lord Nrsimhadev, Ramchandra, and everybody. And those who follow Biddha Ekadashi, you would get the result. Biddha means, as per uh, all the four Vaishnava Sampradayas, if Dashami is touching the 10th day is touching Ekadashi, that's called Biddha. That if one performs that, the result of that would be taken by Mohini. So he said, you get the fruits of those of this kind of following of this kind of Ekadashi. The rest I'll speak tomorrow. Vaishnavi. Yeah. After Arati, offering Bhoga, and then that's it. Hari Bol. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.